Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Really, the bell is ringing for 6 o'clock, so we start.
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Devim Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashti Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shakara Chakshurumilitam Deva Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manodishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutaro Swayamarupa Kadamayam Dadati Swakadam Mutam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapadakamaya Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vidyantam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhagavan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishnu Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Pesha Gopika Kantara Vastite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Yavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Padaya Krishna Sandhi Purikva Bhagavati Shri Rajana Swami Sivakar Krishna Padaya Krishna Sandhi Shri Rajana Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauramani Pachari Vishnu Shri From Karuti Raj Shri Guru Vijay. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text 43. So we started last week, so we'll continue and we'll complete this chapter today. Krishna Swadhama Pagate Paramagyanadi Visaha Panoshta Nashta Drisham Esha Puranarko Bhutitaha. So just look at the word-to-word transliteration. Krishna in Krishna's Swadhama, all abode, Upagati, having returned, Dharma, religion, Jnana, knowledge, Adhidhi, combined together, Saha, along with Kalo, in the Kaliva, Nashtadrisham, of persons who have lost their sight, Eshaha, all these Puran Arkaha, the Purana which is brilliant like the sun, Adhuna, just now, Uditaha has arisen. This Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as the sun. So Purana Arka, this Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as the sun, meaning the age of darkness, which is the sun. It has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to this world, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. So when Krishna goes, Dharma also goes, Jnana goes, Dharma goes, everything goes. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali, shall get light from this finger on. Perfect. Lord Shri Krishna has his eternal arm of abode, where he eternally enjoys himself with his eternal associates and departed. And his eternal abode is a manifestation of his internal energy, whereas the material world is a manifestation of his external energy. So remember again, this is a revision. So material world is manifestation of this Bahiranga Shakti, and the spiritual spiritual world is manifested as the Antaranga Shakti. So when Krishna descends on the material world, he displays himself with all paraphernalia in his internal potency, which is called Atma Maya, meaning that when he comes, so here Prabhupada is saying, so when he comes, so how he appears, meaning his form itself is spiritual. And then, all his family members, they're all spiritual. Then his house, his gardens, his cows, his govardhan, everything is spiritual. So they are not the creations of matter. So why does Krishna come? He descends, so he comes to reclaim the fallen souls and to re-establish codes of religion which are directly enacted by him. So what is dharma? It's not that anybody decides what is dharma and how he or she wants to behave, right? There's no choice about this. So when people become so ignorant and so rebellious, they start doing things by themselves without thinking there's anybody who's controlling this universe. So Krishna comes and he has to re-establish whatever mess all of us have created. So then he put codes of religion. These are the rules. Real religion means to know God, our relationship with him, and our duties in relationship with him, and to know ultimately our destination after leaving this material body. So this is Sambandh, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. Sambandh meaning our connection with Krishna, relationship with Krishna. Abhidheya means what are the duties that we do, understanding that Krishna is the Supreme. So what do we do to exhibit this understanding that we know Krishna is the Supreme Lord? And then finally, it's like when we know that we leave this material body and we go back to Krishna. So these are the reasons why Krishna comes. So most of them are like animals engaged in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. Eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. They are mostly engaged in sense enjoyment under the pretension of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation. So here Prabhupada is saying that actually most people are like animals. They only eat, sleep, and what else do they do? They eat, sleep, and what do they do? Fearing, they're always afraid. They will lose their house, they will lose their money, they will lose their family members. Right? They're constantly in fear. So apparently they look religious. They look religious. So they pretend to be religious. Here is what Prabhupada is saying. They pretend to be religious. They're not at all interested in religion, but they pretend to be religious. So they are mostly engaged in sense enjoyment under the pretension of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation. Dharma, artha, moksha. They're still more blind in this present age of Kali quarrel. In the Kali Yuga, the population is just a royal, oh my God. Prabhupada is saying, in the age of Kali, the population just a royal addition of the animals. My God. Oh, Prabhupada is very poetic, right? This Kavi. They have nothing to do with spiritual knowledge or godly religious life. They're so blind that they cannot see anything beyond the jurisdiction of the subtle mind, intelligence, or ego, but they are very much proud of their advancement in knowledge, science, and material prosperity. They can risk their lives to become a dog or hound just after leaving the present body, for they have completely lost sight of the ultimate goal, the aim of it. Are we good so far? All right. The personality of Godhead Shri Krishna appeared before us just a little prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga. So now you can know this now. Everybody wants to know when Kali Yuga started, when Krishna came. So here it's stated, Krishna came just before Kali Yuga started. Meaning, when?
Ending of Dwapar and starting of Kali.
Junction, right? Sandhi. So meaning end of Dwapar and beginning of Kali Yuga. And he returned to his eternal home practically at the commencement of Kali Yuga. You see, right? Timing is given now. The dates are given. While he was present, he exhibited everything by his different activities. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita specifically and eradicated all pretentious principles of religiosity. So everybody, so many shastras, and everybody is saying one thing. So here Prabhupada is saying that in this Kali Yuga, this Bhagavad Gita is the most important. Why? Because it can eradicate all pretentious principles of religiosity. And prior to his departure from this material world, he empowered Sri Vyasadeva through Narada to comply the messages of Srimad Bhagavatam. And thus both the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam are like torch bearers. Torch bearers for the blind people of this age. In other words, if men in this age of Kali want to see the real, if men in this age of Kali want to see the real light of life, they must take to these two books only, that is Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And the aim of life will be fulfilled. Bhagavad Gita is a preliminary study of the Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of life. Lord Shri Krishna personified. We must therefore accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the direct representation of Lord Krishna. One who can see Srimad Bhagavatam can see also Lord Shri Krishna in person. They are identical. So this is a very beautiful purpose. Any question on this?
Guruji, what is the meaning of the last line? One who can see Srimad Bhagavatam can also see Lord Krishna.
Yes. Explain earlier, right? He said that Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of life, Lord Shri Krishna personified. The Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna personified. So as we read Bhagavatam, see, why are we all eager to read Bhagavatam? Right? Why? We are looking, where's Krishna in this whole Bhagavatam, right? Everywhere we are looking, because he's there in Bhagavatam. There are so many Puranas. I tried reading and I just put it aside. Can't read them. I think I've got Garud Puran, Bhavishya Puran, I don't know, Padma Puran, I can't read, but this Bhagavatam is just Rasamalayam, right? When we start to study, we don't want to stop. We want to continue and read and speak, right? Why? Because Krishna, this Bhagavatam is Krishna. Like I read one Purana, I think it is Bhavishya Puran, which is one of the Puranas for Lord Brahma. And what was it all about? I'm sure you won't be happy what it was all about. It was all about household life. So I don't know how many of you are happily married in your household life. But everything was about household life. And and how you cooperate with your co-wives. Right? Yeah, that's what it was about, right? And it was all about, such an extent, it's about even your cooking vessels were described, the cooking vessels. So meaning that if you have a pot where you keep dahi in it, you make dahi from this, how you're going to purify that pot so that you can use it again. All these, right? You don't find this in Bhagavatam, right? Here you find Krishna. In Bhagavad, you hear about devotees who are not pure devotees, but become pure devotees. You hear about the faults of neophyte devotees, of Sakam Bhakta, and then how you become Nishkam, how you become pure devotee. So Bhagavatam here Prabhupada is saying, so Bhagavad Gita preliminary study of Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, you got the principles, right? All the principles of knowledge that you have to learn. So once you get this, then when you start reading Bhagavatam, now you apply those principles in the description of Bhagavatam so that you get a picture of what the world is about. Is it okay? Is it clear? Is it clear? All right. So we are searching for Krishna in Bhagavatam. And he will appear. He will appear. All right, let's go on text 44. Tatra kirtayato vipra viprarshe bhuri tejasah aham chadhyagami tatra niritastad anugrahat sahanga shavai nishyami yatha dhitam yatha mati. All right, Ushaji, you want to read?
Haribol. Translation. O learned Brahmanas, when Sukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus, by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try and make you hear the very same thing that as I learnt it from him, and as I have realized it. Purport. One can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Shri Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Sukadeva Goswami. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship. One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of Sukadeva Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Krishna in the pages, that is the process, and there is no alternative. Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukadeva Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmana. Sukadeva Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father, and so also Sutta Goswami is representing Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Sukadeva Goswami. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word nirishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears the rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, one can surely see Lord Sri Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first canto, third chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah, so let's look at this. So now we know who we should hear Bhagavatam from, right? Not from professional reciters. So Prabhupada says, simple hearing is not all. Shukdev Goswami presented Srimad Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father. And so also Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Shukdev Goswami. Did you follow this line?
Yeah.
Why? Anushri, you follow what's going on here? How this Bhagavatam is being spoken? Saraswati and Anushri, you're new.
Yes, Mataji.
What is going on?
So Mataji, firstly it was Sukadev Goswami who was selling it to Parikshit Maharaj, and then Sutta Goswami was there in the assembly. And Sutta Goswami, therefore, then further, after that, Sutta Goswami comes back to Naimisharanya and he tells it to the rishis there, the Saunakadi rishis who gather. So that is the background. And now we're talking about the portion where Krishna is the source of all incarnations. We're talking about that part. So how we can feel the person Bhagavatam and the book Bhagavatam. How do we understand that?
Here. So remember that this first canto is being described by Sutta Goswami,
Yes.
right? Because Shukadev Goswami will appear at the end of the first canto. All right. So here Prabhupada is saying, well, Shukadev Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father. Remember, as it is, Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? So here Bhagavatam as it is. I give another example. Sanjaya on the battlefield. He repeats what?
What Krishna said.
Bhagavad Gita as it is, he repeats.
Yeah, he repeated Bhagavad Gita as it is. Right? He didn't put some interpretation here and there. He didn't put in a word, right? So actually, the Bhagavad Gita that we are hearing is the Bhagavad Gita spoken by who?
Sutta Goswami.
By Bhagavad Gita?
Sri Krishna.
Sanjay.
Yes,
Sanjay.
it is what we are hearing is what Sanjaya
Yes.
is speaking to
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra, isn't it?
Yes.
Starts like this. Dhritarashtra Uvacha, right? So we are hearing a relay of Bhagavad Gita. This is the storyline. So now, same pattern. Shukdev Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father. And so also, Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Shukadev Goswami. So whatever is being spoken here, whatever you're reading here, all learned Brahmanas, when Shukadev Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention. So who's speaking? Yes, Shrikar.
Suta Goswami.
Sutta Goswami.
Yeah, Sutta Goswami is speaking as if I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it. So there is the theory and there is the realized knowledge. So all of us, we are learning the theory right now, isn't it? We are hearing the theory. But as we live through life, we will start to realize what we are reading in Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Is it true? Are you perplexed, Manaji? Are you perplexed?
By the mercy only, Mataji.
Yeah. I'm just looking, Mala's looking up. So are you perplexed by what I said?
No, Mataji, just absorbing it.
All right. So what did you observe?
That Shukadeva Goswami first spoke it to Emperor Parikshit, and at that time Sutta Goswami was hearing it with rapt attention, and then he is now saying it to the sages.
And what? What he added something there.
Yeah. And as he has realized it.
Yes, all of you who are teaching, are you not reading, understanding, and then you are giving as you have realized it? Right? Isn't it? I mean, it's so wonderful to hear the devotees how they give this speak. It's as if ever new. Because everybody has experienced something in life and then bring up some example. Right? We don't know which example they will bring, which is in line with the principle. You are learning the principles here. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is giving you details and examples of those principles. 1 minute. Yes. Sorry, who was saying something?
Mataji, so this realized knowledge. So Mataji, we read, we teach everything about the we are not the body, we are the soul. But in our actions, it is not there. So we have not realized it actually. No, it's only theory at the moment.
Whatever we have understood, whatever we have realized, right? Whatever we haven't realized fully we are not the body, but at least we have realized suffering, right? And we have understood that only Krishna is the, shelter. At least that much we have realized, right? We are not, yeah, so many things. Whatever, so here Sutta Goswami is, for example, I think Rashmi yourself, okay? Like I have taught Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, like so many times, right? And still you told me, Mataji, we should go on recording. Why? Because the latest, that's what you told me one time. right? The latest. Why? Because we went through life, so we got something more. But actually, my class is already recorded, so I don't worry about recording this Bhagavatam because it's already recorded. But no, we want the latest because after so many years, we know something more that we have understood. True or false? Okay, that's what we mean here. Like we hear these young boys, they are studying and giving class, and we are all sitting, we are all old, we are so many decades older than them, and we are listening to these boys giving class. Why? Maybe we are understanding more than what he's saying, right? He has research and he's done, unless he's very advanced from previous births, but we know at least that he's made the research and he's presenting to us something, and we're sitting and listening like this. So here, Prabhupada is speaking. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention, right? And that's why, as much as possible, we ask everybody, put on your camera. Because when you're with us, then I know that you're with us, right? Then I know the attention is not diverted. It's fixed, right? So the word Nivishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears, right? So he's hearing. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. Now, Prabhupada is giving something which is very important. I hope everybody has pen and paper, okay? I really hope everybody has pen and paper. This is called listening with rapt attention. So the secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. Now, Prabhupada gave the criteria. No one can give rapt attention who is not what? Is not what? Pure in
Pure in mind.
Why? Tell me. Just write down. Why?
Because we get distracted.
Yes, if the mind is not pure, I'm thinking of this one, that one, I'm hating this one or falling in love with that one, all types of emotion is just harassing our, mind. So when Bhagavatam is coming in, you're thinking of this one, that one, either in hatred or in love, right? Infatuation, let's say. So mind has to be pure. Then yes, I want to capture Krishna. I want to know about Krishna. No one can be pure in mind. Now, this is a formula. Please, all of you who are guiding people, who are guiding children, guiding dependents, etc., this is a formula. No one can be pure in mind who is not what? Who is not what?
Pure in action.
Pure in action, all right? Who is not pure in action. What does that mean? Pure in action. So if you are not doing things that are pure, then your mind will become what?
Diverted. Distracted.
Contaminated. Right?
Contaminated. It's
Your
not pure.
mind becomes contaminated. If your actions are not pure, right, then your mind will become contaminated. Now, no one can be pure in action. Now, what is the pure in action? Who is not pure in what? What you are eating, your time for sleeping, how many hours do you sleep, where do you sleep, anywhere you sleep, right? One who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating, right? Meaning no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, right? No gambling, right? If somebody is engaging in this sinful activities, right? So his action automatically is not pure. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, one can surely see no sufficient person in the pages of Bhagavatam. Now Prabhupada is saying that. Even if what Prabhupada is saying, who will tell me what he's saying?
He's saying, Prabhupada is saying, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right source, from that means from a realized person, then also it is possible, even if he's not so pure in action and pure in mind. He can
Meaning, even if somebody is not pure, let's start from the very beginning. Even if somebody is not pure in what?
mind.
Mind. Yeah, let's start at the very source. Prabhupada doesn't say even if one is not pure in action. He didn't say that at all. What did he say? Read again. What did Prabhupada say? Very important.
Pure in mind, and then only you can give rapt attention.
No. This is not what Prabhupada is saying.
That is he's giving the secret of
He's given the formula.
knowing the Bhagavatam.
So what he's saying, even if we are not pure in mind, but
If we hear it from a real source,
if we
then
hear, we may not be pure in our mind. Why we are not pure in mind? Because our action and our eating, sleeping, etc. is impure, right?
yeah,
So even though our mind is not pure, but if we, what do?
Hear with rapt attention.
Yes.
Rapt attention, then you can still, you for
Yes,
sure
like,
see Lord Krishna.
just like all of us, right? All of us, our mind is keep on shifting. 5 minutes we are here, 5 minutes where we already gone. Then again, we have to pull back, right? We lose our concentration. So Prabhupada is saying that even if the mind is impure, so that's why we say, here we are, this is a privilege for all of us. That 1 hour where we are sitting with our book, pen, paper with our book, it's a privilege, right? When we are sitting and we just listen to Prabhupada speaking this Bhagavatam with rapt attention, even us, we can see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. And that's why, like devotees, they just love to read Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavat Seva. Every single day they're sitting with Bhagavatam or they're hearing Bhagavatam. Somebody is speaking Bhagavatam. Okay. So let's read chapter 4. We start chapter 4. Orashikala will like to read.
thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. The chapter 4, the appearance of Sri Narad. Text 1. Vyasa Uvacha Iti Bhuvanam Sanstuya Muninam Dirgasan Satrinam Ruddha Kulapati Sutam Bahavrucha Sainiko Abravit. Translation. On hearing Suta Goswami speaks, thus Saunak Muni, who was the elderly learned leader of all the rishis, engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. In a meeting of learned men, when there are congratulations or addresses for the speaker, the qualifications of the congratulator should be as follows. He must be the leader of the house and an elderly man. He must be vastly learned also. Sri Sonak Rishi had all these qualifications, and thus he stood up to congratulate Sri Suta Goswami when he expressed his desire to present Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from Sukadev Goswami and also realized it personally. Personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous Acharya. He must have full confidence in the previous Acharya, and at the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it, yet it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. This is called realization. The leader of the assembly, Saunak, could estimate the value of the speaker, Sri Suta Goswami, simply by his uttering Yathadhitama and Yathamati, and therefore he was very glad to congratulate him in ecstasy. No learned man should be willing to hear a person who does not represent the original Acharya. So the speaker and the audience were bona fide in this meeting where Bhagavatam was being recited for the second time. That should be the standard of recitation of Bhagavatam so that the real purpose can be served without difficulty. Unless this situation is created, Bhagavatam recitation for extraneous purposes is useless labor, both for the speaker and for the audience. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Now, all qualification of who can speak Bhagavatam and who can hear Bhagavatam, right? So qualification of the hearer is given if we are to get the full benefit of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Hearer also must be qualified. So we have had the qualification of the hearer, meaning that even though we may not be pure in our mind, action, etc., but if we are ready to hear with rapt attention, then we are going to get the full benefit of going and studying the Srimad Bhagavatam. So now Vyasa Uvacha. So this is, remember, this Srimad Bhagavatam is what? Why Shri Vyasa Uvacha? Vyasa Uvacha.
Because Srila Vyasadeva is, Srimad Bhagavatam is a commentary
On what?
on the Vedanta Sutra.
Yeah, so Srimad Bhagavatam is actually compiled by Vyasadeva. All right? So Srila Vyasadeva, he has put it into writing, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what did he say? So he's telling the storyline. So what happened? So Srila Vyasadeva is saying that on hearing Suta Goswami speak thus, right? Shonak Rishi, who's Shonak Rishi? Please write down if you don't know. Write down all these names. We should not get lost, in this whole maze of names. We should be able to follow exactly the dialogues that are happening. Who is Shonaka Rishi Munu?
He's
He is
the
the one.
Give me specific answer. Who is Shonaka Rishi?
in the Naimisharanya forest where all the rishis had gathered to do the yagya. He was their leader. So he was like the spokesperson for them.
Once upon a time, sages gathered in the forest of Naimisharanya to perform yajna to bring peace in the material world, right? And when they were trying to do all this, nothing was happening. So, oh no, that was something else. I got confused. Anyway, so Shunaka Rishi, he's the leader of the sages of Naimisharanya. And he was the spokesman among the sages. So he was putting forth questions, just like all of you. I can read, right? I can read, but if you ask a question, then automatically I have to think, no? Isn't it? So it's only when there are questions, and that's why I just give a simple example. If you put me on Facebook, if I don't have an audience in front of me, right? If you just put me on Facebook, what will happen? It's as if I'm speaking to myself. I have a camera in front of me, right? It's as if I'm speaking to myself. And you can't grow, you can't expand because somebody has to ask questions. When the person asks questions, then you bring in more flavors. Then you have to think, and that's when your realized knowledge comes out. Right? Because it's very challenging to be asked a question, is extremely challenging. Then you have to gather all the pieces of information and understanding and your realization. You have to bring everything in one place to answer one question. So, Shonaka Muni, when he heard Sutta Goswami speak, he was so happy. And Shonaka Rishi is the elderly. So see, the etiquette is given here. Etiquette is given. In a meeting of what? Meeting of what?
Learned men.
Every word is important because etiquette is being taught. So much knowledge is being given in each and every page of Bhagavatam. All right. Now Prabhupada is speaking of etiquette. Where? Of what? Meeting
Men.
learned men. So how, when learned men come together, how do they behave? Who is going to speak? All right. In a meeting of learned men, when there are congratulations or addresses for the speaker, all right, not just anybody will just pick up the mic and speak something, all right? Ladakh is a good MC, right? So here, so among learned men, who will pick up the mic and speak and give congratulations or addresses for the speaker? The qualification, the congratulator should be as follows. Amazing. Number one, he must be the what?
Leader of the house.
Leader of the house and
elderly men.
Elderly man.
why? Why this?
Because it
Leader,
Will be learned.
meaning that he's learned himself, right?
Yeah.
You just put the mic in a small guy's pen, what will he speak? Right? Meaning that if you have invited learned people to your house, you should also be having some knowledge, right? Isn't it? Because who will invite a learned person in his house? Only those who are eager for knowledge. Is it not automatic? Or is it that, those who are not interested, those who just want to watch movies, or will they invite learned people in their house? Right? They're not going to invite you, right? They're not interested in you. Yes, so here it says that he must be vastly learned also. Then he can appreciate somebody else, right? Otherwise, if a quack is sitting here speaking so many, nice words, and he doesn't know anything himself, how will he appreciate whether this person is a bona fide or is a quack? Right? So Prabhupada is saying, he must be vastly learned also. Sri Shonaka Rishi had all his qualifications, and thus he stood up to congratulate Sri Sutta Goswami when he expressed his desire to present Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from Shukadev Goswami and also realized it personally. So Shonaka Rishi was very happy, congratulated, right? Says, yes, I'm going to hear Bhagavatam as it is. Right? See, there is no envy in the society of learned people. If you are truly learned, you'd be so happy to hear somebody speak. And you won't be thinking, when will the mic come to me? Why is this one speaking? Why am I not being given the mic? Right? Who is learned likes to hear others speak. And they appreciate. They appreciate. So now Prabhupada speaks about this realization. So what is this personal realization? Personal realization when you cook up something. It means that you have understood the principles. Right? You have understood the principle and are, because whatever the principle is being given in Shastra, these are principles of reality of life. So when you walk around in life, this is called Shastra Chakshus. When you walk around, oh yeah, this is what I read in Bhagavad Gita. Just see in front of me it's happening. Or you start seeing, let's say, coronavirus came, at least in India. In India, everybody thought, oh, this is the Supreme Lord teaching us something. Other people who may have superficial understanding of Bhagavatam, they became atheists. They lost faith in Bhagavatam. Whereas those who are genuinely theistic, they developed more faith and they took more shelter of the Supreme Lord. Because they say they have read in Bhagavatam, that if we disobey the laws of God, then there is a reaction. There is Adibautic, Adidevik, Atmic Klesh. So they see the hand of God in everything. So they get closer to Krishna. They don't get more distance from him and believing he doesn't exist. You follow? I'm giving you one example. And that's why you see the temples are full from time coronavirus. You can't set foot anywhere in any temple. It's completely packed. Personal realization doesn't mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning. All right? So your own learning by trying to surpass the previous acharyas. He must have full confidence in the previous acharya. At the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstance in a suitable manner. For example, we are reading Bhagavatam, right? What are we doing, all of us? We are reading the line that Prabhupada has written, isn't it? Or is it that, I read the verse and then I write my own purport? Like, we are having faith that whatever Prabhupada has written is fact, right? And we are repeating, like you already read, and I'm rereading it, right? I'm rereading the same purport. And then, as we are talking, I gave an example, isn't it? It's not written in the page of the Bhagavatam about coronavirus, right? You understand? But we are saying this is what happens. So the original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out, it's not there, You just like can't see why is it that Prabhupada's books are so so easy to read? Because there's no obscure meaning screwed out from the text. Once you have studied it, you have understood. There's no obscure meaning in any of Prabhupada's writing. It's clear as daylight once you understand what he's saying. So Prabhupada said, this is called realization. So the leader of the assembly, Shonak, could estimate the value of the speaker, Sri Suta Goswami, simply by his uttering Yatha Ditam and Yatha Mati. And therefore he was very glad to congratulate him in ecstasy, meaning that he became ecstatic when he heard. Shuta Goswami said in text 44, Yatha Ditam, which means, where is it? Yatha Ditam Yatha Mati, as far as my realization. So, Shunaka Rishi, he became ecstatic as soon as Sutta Goswami said he's going to repeat this Bhagavatam as he has heard it according to his realization. Shunaka Rishi understood the caliber of the speaker and he stood up in ecstasy to congratulate him. No learned man should be willing to hear a person who doesn't represent the original Acharya. So the speaker and the audience, audience must be bona fide. So the speaker and the audience were bona fide in this meeting where Bhagavatam was being recited for the second time. That should be the standard of recitation of Bhagavatam so that the real purpose can be served without difficulty. Unless this situation is created, right? Unless this situation is created, Bhagavatam recitation for extraneous purposes is useless labor. Just imagine what we're talking here. The topmost of all literatures. We're doing time pass reading Bhagavatam. Just doing time pass. I mean, Prabhupada is just putting, see, Prabhupada actually, he wants us to get, we have a treasure in our hand, and Prabhupada wants us to make the most of it, right? So he's saying, unless this situation, meaning we should be qualified, meaning speaker should be qualified. What is a qualification of speaker? We should repeat as Prabhupada is teaching, and Prabhupada is teaching according to the previous acharyas, and this is how he has put it down in the purport. And the hearer must be in rapt attention even if we are impure, right? Even if we are impure, still we must hear with rapt attention. Otherwise, if we are doing time pass, right? Extraneous purposes, just for entertainment, oh God, it's just too bad. For entertainment, then it's useless labor, why waste my time and my 1 hour, right? Useless labor both for the speaker and for the audience. All right, the bell is saying confirmed, right? Confirmed. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I have to go.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यः कृपा च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Hare Krishna.